The Ben Coley Podcast.
Hi, another episode. I'm happy about this one. I've got some good stuff on the way. Really looking forward to it. If you've never listened to this podcast before, I'm Ben. Hi, and I chat to you about my favourite new unsigned artists. Really, I pick 3 different artists each week that I'm really digging at the minute. Artists that I genuinely love. I don't just pick people that I think, oh yeah, that'll do. It's people that I've downloaded, I've got in my playlist, people that I really want to go and see live. If you like me and you love all different types of genres, your pop, your hip hop, your jazz, all that sort of thing, then this is like your essential quick snapshot of what's going on in unsigned music at the minute, and you'll be able to touch base with a few different sounds, get them in your library, that sort of thing. If you've got any artist suggestions, if you've got anyone that you think, you know what, they're really sick and I'd like to hear Ben chat about it, then please let me know. I'd love to hear it. And if you've got any suggestions for future episodes, then please hit me up on my socials at BenColey97 on Twitter, _Ben Coley on Insta. I've got an email called thebencoleypodcast@gmail.com. I've approached all the unsigned artists and they've agreed to give me full usage of their music. They are the sole copyright holders of their music because they're unsigned. So thank you so much to the artists for letting me do that and let me use their music, because I know that's a big deal. And all the links are in the description for each of the artists you'll hear today. So you can go and check them out. Go and download their stuff, go and check them out live, that sort of thing. And please, as always, leave a review and a rating. Please download and share. That would be much appreciated, of course. And a huge shout out to my sponsors. You can be at the forefront of discovering new music with indiecentralmusic.com. These guys are sick. You can unearth some of the hottest indie and alternative talent around. So many bands that I feature on here, Indie Central Music have already got on. Those guys are hot on it. They're like straight to the pulse. Way quicker than me. I don't know how they do it. They have loads of insightful reviews, feature interviews, and especially curated Spotify playlists, which are well worth a listen. You can follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter just by searching Indie Central Music. First up is Menna. She's sick. She's a 22-year-old singer-songwriter. She's from Carmarthen in Wales, but she's now based in Manchester, doing her thing up that way, which, wise move. Manchester's got a great scene. And I've been trying to think, like, how would I sum it up? And I think the 3 pillars that influence Menna, the 3 legs under the table that hoist up her sound, are probably London Grammar, Lana Del Rey, especially vocally, and Florence and the Machine. It's like using all of these influences, and she's got to the point where she's created her own dark indie pop world using these guys as touchstones. And I want to get into the track People Don't Know People. It dropped on the 26th of March, a little bit earlier this year, and it's beautiful.
So my track People Don't Know People is my 3rd single, and I wrote it almost 3 years ago now, after a breakdown of a friendship that I had, and it gave me these feelings of, you know, I thought I knew this person really well and it's turned out like this, and do we ever really know people? And that's the song about. It was just me being a bit sad about that broken friendship. So I sat down at my piano one day and just bashed it out in one sitting, really. It took about an hour or so to write, but since then it's changed a lot. Originally it had this sort of really angry bridge section, but later on, like a year later, when I workshopped this song with my amazing band, we decided that this was a sad song, and there was the opportunity there to make it really ethereal and spacey and beautiful. So we totally cut that bridge and instead created this big dramatic outro, which is full of pain and heartbreak, and I think it fits the song really, really well. So yeah, the song started out with just piano and lyrics, and I tend to write everything at the same time. Like, I just play some chords and sing some words and a melody all at the same time, and then take it to the band and we workshop it like that. So I'm super proud of it. It's probably my favourite song that I've written so far, and I'm very honoured that it's being played on this podcast. Thank you so much.
I thought I knew you from the start, that you were just playing a part. I was so unprepared to find out you never cared. People don't know people the way they thought they did. People don't know people the way I thought I did. And maybe you didn't know me as well as I thought you did. And maybe I didn't know you had. I thought you would always be a friend, but you were just playing pretend. I felt so much pain at your stupid petty games. People don't know people the way they thought they did. People don't know people the way I thought I did. And maybe you didn't know me as well as I thought you did. And maybe I didn't know you at all.
It starts with this swirling, atmospheric guitar, and then Menna's voice comes in pretty much straight away. There's not much breathing space that's left at the start, and from the off it's got this amazing, beautiful tone to it. She's got so much control over her voice. Again, reminds me a little bit of Lana Del Rey, that kind of smoky quality to her voice. And I love this real sustained, soft synth that comes in gradually, and it just cradles Menna's voice. On to the next bit of the song, and my favourite part is probably coming up, and I'll chat to you more about it afterwards. But for the rest of this song, I'm totally floating in it. I feel weightless, without a care in the world. And I think it's the way that Menna's amazing falsettos just hang in the air and bleed into all these guitar parts. I think it ultimately becomes pretty powerful. It has quite a soft start to it, but then come the end, you're like, damn, this is flooring me. And I hope that you like that dark indie pop energy that Menna brings to the table. And if you'd like to check out some more of her singles, I'd recommend it. Go and check out her link in the description. Weird Milk. I'm happy I've got these guys on because whenever I'm messaging different artists to get them on, I always try and cast my net out as widely as I can, and then I just kind of hope and pray that enough people will get back in touch. But there's always certain artists that I'm like, please, for love of God, can I hear back from you? Because I would just love to hear what you have to say about your music, and I'd love to dive into your music properly. But of course I need permission for it. But these guys were straight back to me. Such a lovely group of guys. They're some village boys from Buckinghamshire. They make a pretty big racket, safe to say, out in the countryside. And then they realised in time that they're creating pretty sick tunes. So they packed up and they headed to London to make a go of it. And you got Charlie Glover Wright on drums and vocals, Alex Griffiths on guitar and vocals, you got Joe Blue Moyle on keys, Alex Guess on bass, and Emmett Crudus on guitar. These guys, as a quartet, have already pricked up some pretty good ears, like Steve Lamack's on board, Jack Saunders from the Radio on Indie show, he's been all over it, Annie Mac, of course, the legend that is, she's been giving these guys the big up, so they're doing well, they're making waves. And they've been gigging a fair bit as well. They've had gigs in London, Glasgow, Brighton, and I saw that they played Bristol's Dot to Dot Festival back in September, and I need to go to that, man, because that festival looks incredible. I was at Isle of Wight that weekend, and I'd already spent like 200 odd quid on the ticket. I was like, I'm not giving that up. But Dot to Dot Festival, I go to for so many of the artists that you hear on this podcast, because it's just incredible for spotting new talent, and it gives them an amazing platform to do it in Bristol, which is such a vibrant city as it is anyway. Anyway, I'm banging on about festivals. I want to crack on with chatting about this amazing track from Weird Milk. It's called Vienna, and it's a track that dropped back in August, and this is guitarist Alex chatting a little bit more about it.
Hey Ben, it's Alex from Weird Milk. Yeah, so Vienna, that was a song that I'd been sitting on for a long time. Roughly like 2016 that I started writing it. Yeah, I just let it come to me quite slowly, especially lyrically. It started out on the piano. I was at university at the time, and I'd often go into the basement, and they had these rehearsal rooms, and I used to just jam on these acoustic pianos, because I found there that, you know, there's nothing better than playing a real piano. It really doesn't compare. And yeah, it was just, you know, I was just playing the same thing over and over again, and there's this like kind of descending chord progression that I was doing, and then I just kept singing these bits over it. I was listening to a lot of Velvet Underground at the time. I think my favourite song at the time was probably Rock and Roll by the Velvet Underground. Yeah, I was kind of just sort of doing my own sort of version of that in my own way. And yeah, it was at this time in my life where these people sort of came in, and I was like sort of on the fence about what I was doing and where I wanted to be, and I was in a sort of big rut with myself. It was a fork in the road moment, and I didn't really know what to do. And then these people just sort of came into my life from different parts of the world, and yeah, it was great. It was very strange. It was like a weird fate thing, and I don't really believe in those things, but it sort of made me appreciate it when people, you know, talk about fate and destiny and these sorts of things. And not to sound corny, but you know, it did definitely feel like I was supposed to meet these people at that time. After I was back on the straight and narrow again, those people just slowly, you know, drifted away for whatever reason, you know, and so that's what the song's about. And you know, they had a big effect on me, as you can hopefully hear in the song. In terms of how we actually wrote it and finished the demo, that was me and Charlie in lockdown. As I said, I've been sitting on this song since like 2016, and it was slowly coming together, and I got to a point where I finished the words. This is like 2 years later, because I just let it take, you know, sort of grow in its own time. Didn't want to put pressure on writing it, because it was personal to me. And when it came to the arrangement, we didn't really know what to do to make it sound like a Weird Milk song. And so me and Charlie were listening to a lot of music. We were listening to a lot of like the band, and like, yeah, we were listening to a few records at home that we had. Then it sort of clicked, and we sat down and we were like, yeah, let's just do this, let's write it. We started writing the riffs together, like the guitar riffs, because we had all the words down and the chords, and then it was like, yeah, let's add this spin to it. And yeah, then we recorded it, and you know, it was very much a product of what we were listening to at the time, as well as like, you know, the sentiment that had gone into it for years. I'm really, really proud of this song. It's probably one of the most personal songs I've ever written. And yeah, it was a great collaboration between myself and Charlie. We're going to be playing a UK tour in November, and you can buy our tickets on our link tree, which is in our bio on Instagram at Weird Milk Music. Hope you're enjoying the music.
Oh baby, down came the angel. Heaven ain't in the UK. I know 'cause I'm at Vienna and CAILTA. I wish I had your love on lockdown, my private palace to pray. But I won't go wild around a lover. I just hope she's gonna stay. Judgment scored my sins. Laid bare up against my naked passions and died. I came along to your movie. The film went well with the wine. Before the screen lay a dance floor and the Annie's dresses of white. I felt my chance to the lion. Ignore the look in your eyes.
Yes, it's very good. It's kind of shocking that these guys aren't bigger, really. It's just radiant, it's infectious. It's the sound of a band that know exactly who they are and what they want. And you can hear the influences straight off. I mean, they're big on the Beatles. I can hear some of the Beach Boys in there, Arctic Monkeys definitely. But because they know themselves so well, they're able to pick out the best bits from those influences and mould it all together in a way that best serves them. And they end up creating something pretty unique for it. So it starts off with that crisp acoustic guitar. In come those splashes of staccato electric guitar that sound really sick, and then you've got Alex's distinctive vocals. They sound quite inviting. It's almost like, come here, come listen to my voice. It's pretty compelling. And the keyboard that comes in that second verse is ace as well. I really like that. It's the harmonies that do it for me, though. That's kind of what makes these guys stand out. It's very Beach Boys. This is the bit I'm on about. So into the next bit of the song, you've got these wispy vocals, and I love the way that the guitars just build up underneath that. It's songwriting approached with so much confidence and just loads of swagger.
To be sad here forever with you. Oh, what do you say? Would you whisk me forever away to a timeless and heavenly place? Ooh. Judgment scold my sins. They bear up against my naked passions. You awaken hell. The man I am inside a boy, but you prized open a prize on Archer. All I've got right now, so let me in.
I like those guys a lot. Weird Milk, Vienna. Go and check them out. I try and mix it up as best as I can on this podcast with like solo artists or duos and then bands. And I try not to go too band heavy because I realise for some people that could be a bit samey. It's like, come on, no, sort yourself out. We want different things here. But these guys are so amazing that I couldn't not include them. I had to have them straight after Weird Milk because They're quite different from Weird Milk, but I still think that they're equally as good in their own right. You've got Elliot Hinton on lead vocals and rhythm guitar, James Baines on lead guitar, Jack Ford on bass, and Jamie Royal on drums. And this 4-piece Southwest London indie band are called The Motive. Shout out to my mate Callum, who pointed me in their direction. I'm very grateful you've done that, because I found a new band that I can champion and chat about and follow and download all their stuff in the future. Basically, just take my money. The Motive, take all my money. I'm all for it. They started off jamming at school back in the day. They had a teacher that turned around and just said, you guys have something. Go out there, spread your wings, fly, do it. Shout out to that teacher, because whoever he, she, or they are, nailed it. To be honest, they spotted something. They're only young as well, but I just think they've got the lyricism that matches that. It's like retellings of their youth. And most of the time, in a lot of their music, they're also looking ahead to the future, which is pretty cool, because they contrast that with music that sounds quite nostalgic. And I want to chat about the track called Empty Time. It's their most recent single. It arrives as like a bit of a double single, because the song straight after it on this mini EP is called Do You Know? And I think they're treating Empty Time and Do You Know as a wanna, as a bit of a back-to-back thing. But I want to chat about Empty Time in particular, because I think it shows off where these guys are at the minute, and I think it captures the essence of their sound. Like, when you listen to them, when you listen to this song, you know what you're signing up for straight away. Here's James, the guitarist.
Yeah, mate, so the process for Empty Time and Do You Know as a double-sided single started in about January of 2021, January-February time. Unfortunately, there was this whole pandemic and people weren't really going outside, but we got in the studio and managed to sort of, when things were just opening up in a late March, April time, and we just spent sort of a day or two in the studio at Talyard in King's Cross in London, just perfecting it really, with Matt Facey engineering, and we had Prash from Lonesome Dog Studios mixing and mastering it. We're really happy with the end product, as a double-sided single, to tide us over until we were able to actually go back to gigs in the summer, which we have been smashing out since then. We've literally played all over the country, from Sheffield to Liverpool to Manchester to Bristol to London to Southampton to Brighton to everywhere else. And you can still see us on tour to this day, if that is something that you wanted to do. The process of it, Empty Time is just sort of about, not wanting to mess someone about, really, just feeling like you've wasted time, basically, making up for empty time, as a process, just thinking oh god, this has really been, where are we going with this, sort of thing. And I think it's turned out as a really fun song to play, and selfishly I do still listen back to it, because I quite enjoy how it's come out and the process and the amount of time we took to get involved with it. So you can hear it on tour with us, wherever really, all over the country. Genuinely, we're all about, if you've got a gig for us, we'll be there. Yeah, thank you for having us on, by the way, much appreciated. We've been The Motive, and we will see you later.
Right, let's go.
Hey Ben, we are The Motive, and this is our song Empty Time.
Yes!
Make it one day soon. You're doing the things I do. This life's too short to lose. Are you coming with me too? And lately I've just been wasting all this time and these doubts floating round my mind. So give me time. And lately I've just been waiting for you. I keep on looking for something new. I'll try to make up for the empty time again.
I'm sold on that drum sound. It's really sick. I don't know why I get nerdy about drum sounds, because I'm not even a drummer, but when I hear a good drum sound, I'm like, yes, that's exactly what it needs. It's roomy, and I think the snare sounds really snappy, could crack a shin to that, and then in comes this pillowy guitar. It's this riff that is taken straight from an Indie 101 textbook, which I'm all for. I just love how quintessentially indie it is. And then in come these incredible vocals, which are quite simple in the verse, and it's teeing up the chorus where the vocals soar. There's some incredible hooks. And when you put the drums, bass, guitar and vocals all together, it sounds quite retrospective. It does sound like they're reminiscing on like the good old days. It sounds like the song's drenched in sepia tone. And it's one of those choruses in this song where you're instantly singing back to it. It's definitely got like a lot of repeat value in it, I'd say. I want to get into the next bit of the song, and it's cool because you'll hear the drums and the bass drop out and you're just left with the two guitars. So it just brings that riff back into the main frame and then it's just straight back in. Sounds ace.
I've got so much to prove, but I'm way too tired to move. My legs feel like they're glued to the bed that I used to share with you. So I'll keep trying to break out from my cage. Yeah, I'll keep trying to visualize the summer haze, waiting for the golden light in which I used to bathe. But it's nothing without you. Yeah, it's nothing without you. And lately I've just been wasting all this time and these doubts floating round my mind. So give me time. And lately I've just been waiting for you. I keep on looking for something new. I'll try to make up for the empty time again. To make up for the empty time again. Lately I've just been wasting all this time and these doubts floating round my mind. So give me time. Oh, lately I've just been waiting for you. I keep on looking for something new. I'll try to make up for the empty time. This time again.
It's just the chorus, isn't it? It's killer. It's absolutely killer. And I love that little halftime break at the end that the band do. Yeah, I'm sold. I like this touch as well.
Lately I've just been wasting all this time and these doubts floating round my mind.
Just that little kind of brief pause for breath and then straight back in. I just think it's got that summer shine to it, like a Circa Wave song, but I'm also hearing a little bit of Ian Brown, like Stone Roses, especially in the vocals. I mean, they're two bands to definitely be drawing from for sure, and I think these guys are incredible. So that's me done. Thank you very much for listening. That was episode 24. I'll be back for 25 next time. Yeah, appreciate it. In a bit.